Hi everyone, Jay Sennett here for another edition of Cooking with Jay. Hope all of you are doing well. We're going to put together another nice dish for you today. And on this edition of the program, I'm going to take you to the West Indies. I'm going to make a dish that's traditionally based out of the West Indies, particularly Trinidad or Barbados or someplace else down there, but definitely out of Trinidad. So the Trinidadians call it Pelau, and it's not just in Trinidad. Pelau is a traditional West Indies rice dish, usually. Okay, you can use different types of rice. You can use different kinds of meat. You can use chicken. You can use beef. You can use lamb. Although I've rarely seen it made with lamb. Today I'm going to make my pilau with beef. Okay, these chunks of this beautiful stewed beef right here, and just like in many countries, you can have the same dish, like pesto, for example, in Italy. It's made differently in different regions. Just like in West Indies, pilau is made differently in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, just many different places down there. With different seasonings. I'm going to show you first. You want to marinate the meat. Well, I'm going to create a marinade, but I'm not going to let it sit in the marinade. I'll just create the marinade. And then there's usually sugar in this dish, white sugar, brown sugar. I'm using dark brown sugar for mine, okay? So let's create this marinade. I have this beef. This is Worcestershire sauce, a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, okay? About a teaspoon of cumin in here. All right, we have some finely grated up ginger. Put some ginger in here with this meat. I have some cardamom. Put some black cardamom in here. Oh yeah. We have some garlic. A couple of 3-4 cloves of finely diced up garlic. And put some thyme, some fresh thyme in here. We have some ketchup, okay? Yes. You know, you go from cardamom to ketchup, really? Well, yeah. We gotta do it, folks. We gotta do it. All right. And lastly but not least, well, not last but not least, here I have some scallions, some finely minced up scallions. I also have a serrano pepper finely diced up in here. And then the red pepper, it's a chili pepper, very hot, okay? So I'm using less of that and more of the onion and more of the serrano. You can also use a banana pepper, but you definitely want to put a chili pepper in here. Now how hot you want to make that, that's up to you, okay? That's all up to you, how spicy you want to get. So let's put some salt in here, good dose of some salt. A healthy dose of some salt. I use coarse salt. You know, it's like the way it feels on my fingers. Yes, and then some freshly ground black pepper. Because when I start cooking the meat will cook for about 15-20 minutes, and then I will add some coconut milk and rice. Now you can add peas. I'm going to add some carrots. I'm not going to put any peas in there. You know why? Because I don't like peas. That goes back. You know, that's a stressed part of my childhood. You know, my mother, eat the peas or you don't play basketball. Or you gotta eat those lima beans or you don't play the drums tonight. Okay, so my little cheeks would be pureed lima beans. I look like a woodchuck, you know. And I would tell my mother, Ma, that little thing in the back of your throat that makes you swallow, mine doesn't work when I eat these things. And she would say, you better learn how to make it work and swallow those beans. All right, so we got this beef with this delicious marinade. Oh, and you want to cut up the beef in these 1 to 2 inch chunks. Okay. Oh man, smell that. The onions, the peppers, the Worcestershire sauce. Oh, yeah. And while I finish doing this, I'm going to turn this on to heat my oil. I have some oil in here because I'm going to put the sugar in there. I'm like, what? It's interesting. Oil and sugar cook differently than butter and sugar when you make traditional caramel. So it's kind of like a caramel, but not like butter. Oil separates itself from the sugar differently than butter. Okay. All right, my meat is now fully covered in this marinade. So now, while my oil is heating up, I mean, look at this. You can see that? That's beautiful, man. See, there's chunks of meat there. That marinade with these onions, chili peppers. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go over here to the stove, and I'm going to start caramelizing this sugar. Come on over here to the stove. Okay, I have my oil, and I have a fairly deep saucepan. Okay, I'm putting about half a cup of the sugar in this. Well, let's put all of it. Definitely half a cup of the sugar. And when you mix this around, come on over and take a peek at this. See, it'll get in there, and eventually will start to caramelize and turn color. It'll turn darker, but you don't want to get it too dark, okay? I'm going to add a little bit more oil in here and sugar. Okay. And there's something too about the smell of sugar like this. I always think desserts when I put sugar in here, when I'm making like a caramel sauce or butterscotch sauce or something like that. The smell. Again, you want to stir this constantly because you don't want it to burn, but you want it to start turning colors, turning dark a little bit. It will start to turn color after about 3-4 minutes, depending on how high you have your flame. Mine is fairly high, I think. Yeah, because I can feel it on my hand around the pot. And so what I'm getting ready to do, this is almost ready, brown sugar and oil. That's all that's in here right now. You can see how that starts to take shape in the pot. And it will start to change colors. Turn it up just a little bit more. Okay. Cooking at times is also like drumming. Right? It's a patient art. Sometimes you have to be really patient, because cooking at times will try your patience, just like drumming. Many of you know I play drums. Okay, that's smoking a little bit. Nicely. Woo! I want the fire alarm to go off. All right, let's put this in. The meat is going to go in here now. Oh man. Oh yes, Mom. Caramelized sugar. Now going to wrap some of that caramelized love around these beef pieces with this marinade. And you might say, well, Jay, you didn't let the beef sit long in the marinade. filming a show. Okay, so if you want to make this marinade with your beef and just keep it in your refrigerator for an hour, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, 24 hours, that's up to you. You can do that. I just made it. You saw me make it. This is all in real time. We're going to do some editing here shortly, because when the meat is just about done in here, so you can see that caramelized brown. See how that sugar starts to get hard on that and turn dark, but it didn't turn dark in the pot. Okay? It didn't turn dark like that in the pot. So I'm going to take some of this off of there. Da-da-da-da. So we had one little of that chunk in there. See? That's that. But that, you know what that is? That's flavor. That's what that is. It's like flavor. And the meat is starting to get cooked. Now you know what I'm going to do here shortly is I'm going to add some coconut milk, okay, and I'm going to add a cup of rice. Maybe about a cup. You can add about a cup and a half of rice, and I get about a 13.5-ounce can of coconut milk, and I put it in here. So the rice will cook for 20-30 minutes in that coconut milk, and you want to let these flavors just merge and you know, that beautiful marriage of these flavors coming together over that time. I'll put it on low heat here in a moment. Pelau today for this edition of Cooking with Jay. We're taking you to the West Indies. And again, Pelau is a traditional rice dish of the West Indies. And it could be made with different meats: chicken, beef, lamb. You could even probably make some Pelau fish Pelau, right? That actually sounds pretty interesting. Some good chunky white meat like halibut or haddock, one of the H fishes, right? Or some flounder even, but you want to get some thick, good white meat and make some fish Pelau. That might work. I can't imagine that they don't make fish Pelau down there in the West Indies. Okay, so take another look at this in here. See what's happening in here. All these beautiful flavors in here with the peppers and the onions and the cardamom and the cumin and the ginger and garlic and thyme and Worcestershire sauce. Cumin's in here as well, and salt and pepper. Okay. So now, I think that's pretty good. Had this going for a few minutes. The meat will continue to cook when I put the liquid. All right, so here's what I'm going to do now. We're going to get some of this rice over here. Oh. And we're going to put this rice in there like that. Okay. Then this coconut milk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're taking you to the West Indies, man. Yes, man. There we go. Take a peek at that now. Yeah. So we're getting the rice in here now with that coconut milk, with this beef and this marinade. So now what I'm going to do is add some carrots in here as well. Put some little carrots in here. All right? Some carrots in there. Okay. So we have that. I'm going to cover this, keep the heat fairly low. Let that rice cook gently. Okay. Rice is going to cook. The dish is going to cook now for about 30-40 minutes. Okay. And then we're going to come back, which is only going to seem like seconds when you're watching this, but 30, 40, 50 minutes would have passed. The magic of editing. And we're going to come back and see what we have here with the Trinidadian Pelau. Let this cook. We'll be back in a few. Okay, now this has been cooking for a while, and we're going to take this lid off and see what we have here. Oh, come here, look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, the rice, the beef. Here, I'm going to put some of this in the bowl. Yes. All right. Now we're going to go back over to the island. Okay. Back. Put a couple more pieces of the meat up here. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to add just a little bit of this cilantro up here. Just a little bit of cilantro. This is the part that's, you you can make or break the look of the dish. Okay? And now I sprinkle a little bit. That is from the West Indies, Pelau. Now, it's an interesting taste because there's so many flavor profiles, delicious flavor profiles. Because you marinate the beef. I use Worcestershire sauce. I use scallions, diced up scallions, peppers, 2 different peppers, serrano or banana peppers, and then a red hot chili pepper. I put some onions, some garlic, the scallions, some ginger, some Worcestershire sauce, some cardamom, some cumin, some thyme. Let's see, what else am I putting in there for this marinade? Ketchup, salt, of course, black pepper. And you mix that all together, those peppers and onions and cardamom and cumin. And then I get some oil in the pan, get it hot. Then I take some brown sugar, some dark brown sugar. That's what I prefer to use with it. Get the sugar where it almost caramelizes, starts to turn dark a little bit, smokes a little bit. Then you take that beef, put that beef in there, stir it around, get that caramelized sugar surrounding and caressing those beef pieces, and just let that simmer for about 15-20 minutes. Then you add about a cup and a half of rice, how much rice you want to make. Rinse it beforehand, that takes some of that starch off of it. Put the rice in there. Then about a 13.5 ounce can of coconut milk in there. Then you can put some peas in it if you want. I didn't. You can put some carrots in there. I did. Okay. And then mix it around and then let that simmer for about 30-40 minutes. And then you have yourself a delicious West Indies traditional classic, Pelau, spelled P-E-L-A-U. And it's a traditional white rice dish from the West Indies. And from region to region, it can vary. You can add meat, chicken, beef, lamb. I was even talking about fish pilau. I think that's possible, and I might try that sometime. And the flavors are so interesting with that cardamom and the brown sugar and that caramelization of the sugar with the meat. Very, very different. And the rice, texturally, it's an interesting dish as well. And so that's my dish on this edition of Cooking with Jay. We took you to the West Indies, made a traditional West Indies rice dish with beef called Pelau. And hope you might find this interesting and you might want to try it. I'm Jay Sennett. Thank you for watching Cooking with Jay, which airs Sunday evenings starting at 6 on the WHRO Public Media Facebook page. And it stays up on the page once it's put up there, so if you can't watch it at 6, you can always go back 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock the next morning. Scroll down and find the video and check it out, Cooking with Jay. Don't forget Send It In Session, my jazz show, and the R&B Chronicles, my classic soul show on WHRV-FM. Monday through Thursday nights, the jazz show 9 until 1, Saturday mornings 1 until 5, Sunday afternoons from 1 until 5, and the R&B Chronicles Friday nights from 7 until 8. Yeah. Okay. Till the next edition of Cooking with Jay, hope you'll cook something fantastic. Maybe share it with me. Share me some of your thoughts with me. Send me an email to j.sennett@whrv.org. jae.sinnett@whrv.org. Would always love to know what you're cooking too. Again, thanks for watching. Be safe, friends. We'll see you soon. Take care.